calorie deficit. Stop eating at 6. Any benefits actually will make no difference. Welcome back with another episode. This is going to be a shorter one. It's something that came into my mind I'd like to talk about. I was out walking and then it just popped on my mind where I was talking to my wife as well, and I'm seeing a couple of other people struggling and question about this is, should I cut off my eating time? So for example, is it okay, or is it going to give me any benefits if I'll stop eating at 6 or 7 or 9 or any other time they might have in mind? So basically the difference here is that it actually will make no difference once you stick within your calorie deficit. So we always talking, and if you've been watching a couple of these videos, so you know how important calorie deficit is the basics for if you wish to lose weight, fat, literally. So you won't be able to start burning your fat away until you go into calorie deficit. So basically what I was trying to explain, that some people think and they share saying that I stopped eating after 6, so these are my huge results. Or some people might say I stopped eating after 7 and I started to see the difference and so on. But in reality, what could have happened is, without even noticing themselves, that they are actually in calorie deficit. The reason behind that could be, let's say for example, if you push your breakfast for later in the day, let's say you start your breakfast at 11 or 12 noon maybe, or even you push even further nearly to the lunchtime. So if you start your feeding window at 12 noon or 1, and then you have a pretty big meal, let's say with 600-700 calories, and it's rich with proteins and all the other macros, you more likely won't be hungry until, let's say, 4 o'clock or so. I'm just saying from my own experience. It could be slightly different, let's say if you would have fasted maybe crazily 3-4 days beforehand, then it feels like you could eat the whole fridge. But that's not the case, that's another story. But the point is that if you had that big first lunch or breakfast, whatever it is, around that time, like I said, you more likely won't be getting hungry until probably 4, maybe half 4. So then you'll start that you want something to eat again. So maybe by the time you get to the kitchen or whatever is the food, you might get another meal. So for example, let's say at 5 p.m. And let's say that meal is also another 700 or even 800 or even 1,000 calorie meal, rich in proteins and good stuff all onto the plate. So more likely you won't be getting hungry until 7, and this is the cutoff point which you have set up yourself. So after 7 I won't be eating. So basically opening this feeding window between 12 noon to 7 or 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. you only had 2 meals, and the total calorie intake between those 2 meals were 1,700 calories. And for example, if your calorie deficit is 1,800 or 1,900, so you are already into the calorie deficit and even below that, so there is no doubt about that you'll be start burning fat, losing fat, let's say that way. So this is the main key point. Or it could be other way around. So for example, even if you eat at whatever 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock is your first breakfast, so let's say you have some toast, maybe an egg, let's say avocado, whatever. So let's say you squeeze it in within, for example, 500 calories, and then you go out and about, and then is your lunchtime. You have lunch with roughly 600 calories, and let's say we are up now to 1,100 calories, and then you think, oh, I know, so the evening time is coming, I'm gonna wait until closer to 7, so because after 7 I'm gonna cut off. And you've actually no idea what's the calorie count, but you know that before the 7 I'm gonna get that last meal. And I highly doubt that if you're not counting or following much up, you probably get that meal just by the judging your plate and whatever is being served, unless you're going something crazy to McDonald's or KFC and get the largest meal available. But I mean, if you're at home and you actually care yourself and you know what foods look like and you have a rough idea what is what, more likely that last meal won't be 1,000 or 2,000 calories. So if we up to that are in 1,100 calories, more likely, even if you're making 700 calories, probably the whole overall daily intake will be only 1,800 calories. So again, no doubter, you are in calorie deficit. In most cases, it could be slightly different for females or for a smaller man. But like, for example, for myself, my calorie deficit at the minute is 1,850 calories. So it's no brainer that you might be tricked thinking that, oh, I stopped finishing eat at 7, so this is making a huge difference in my weight, my fat loss, and so on. However, everything generally comes down to the calorie deficit. So the point is from this video, and I'm gonna wrap that boat quick now because we don't want to go for too long. So it doesn't matter what time you eat, in the morning or late night, unless you go over your calorie deficit. It's a different story if you are in maintenance where you actually don't lose any weight, you just want to stay healthy, you want to maintain your weight, you're happy enough, you go to the gym and so on, you just want to stay the way you are. That's totally fine. But we're talking now about fat loss, and this is where a lot of times people get confused thinking that, oh, since I stopped eating after 7, since I'm not eating after 7, oh, it's doing a huge difference. It all matters, the timing, when you eat, the meal size, the total calorie consumption, and this will come down to that. Believe it or not, as I said, the same sandwich, the same egg, the same whatever fruit you have will have these calories in the morning, in the lunchtime, and in the evening time, whatever you're snacking, even right before you go to bed. Just once you keep all your macros inside calorie deficit, if that's your goal. I think that's point on. We are 7 minutes down. I'm not going any longer, but this is just little thing that you shouldn't be afraid to have that snack, that meal, that whatever you wish. Or what I sometimes do is even I see my meals roughly all day ahead, so I kind of know roughly what I will have. And since I've stick to more likely same foods during the week repeatedly, week after week, so I know what I roughly will come out after I have that last meal. And even then I know I might still have 150 to maybe 250, like 100 calories left. So I know if I feel that hungriness before I go to bed, or even an hour before going to bed, I know that I can reach for something else and calm that a bit down. And I'm still good, I'm still losing fat, and I'm still slowly getting closer to my goal. So that's the point. It doesn't really matter the time. So stop listening that you have to stop eating after 6 and starve yourself to death until next day you're getting some food. Just make sure you stay in your calorie deficit. Work out that routine for yourself and you'll be bang on. If for some reason you realize that something stalls or doesn't move, that's mean your calorie intake has to go down slightly. Don't go crazy. If you see that something is not moving, don't cut straight away another 500 calories. Take off 100 and see again a week later or so, maybe 2 weeks later. If that doesn't work, take another 100 and see what's happening. Maybe there's other things that you don't take into account. There's another video. If you go back onto the channel, you see all little things that could causing you and still not losing fat. Could be like oils or some other things you add to a coffee or something that you're not paying attention to and you're not putting through your total calorie intake. So these are the other bits, and this is another story. But this is the way to go, and people, don't be afraid to eat late at night or early in the morning. Stay in your calorie count. That's all, and that's the message for today. Stay safe. Happy days.